how long had you been doing drag before you got on Drag Race?
Right. Well, so I'm a gay baby through and through.
Yes.
And before Drag Race, I'd really only been doing drag for about a year and a half.
Right.
You know, I kind of did a crash course with my drag mom, Alyssa Edwards.
Yes.
And from there, I entered the Mickey's Amateur Showgirl contest, which is actually where I first met Adore, and we competed against each other.
Right.
And after winning that, I was awarded a spot as a showgirl there. So that was really my only gig that I had to like practice my craft before the show. I mean, I'm a dancer and a choreographer. That's what I grew up doing.
Yes.
So drag was something that I just quickly attached myself to because I was fascinated with it. And obviously having someone like Alyssa there to guide me, you know, it was amazing. So I just really committed to it. I'd had a very hard time getting a job as a dancer right after graduating college.
So
drag
that was
kind
when
of fell in place.
When did you graduate college? How long
in
ago?
2011.
So just a little while ago. So you get out of college, and where are you? Here?
So I'm here. I live in Los Angeles. I had a partner then. We were trying to create a dance company. So we were working with dancers, filming videos, which you can see at J Jackson Dance on YouTube.
Bing.
And, you know, we tried that. I tried to get an agent to be represented as a dancer, to be sent on auditions, but it wasn't really working. And so I thought, maybe if I put on a dress and do the same thing, something will happen. It's a gimmick, you know. And
well, you have a nice figure,
well,
and you kind of have a fishy face.
Yes, yes.
And you have these long everything. I mean, please show those nails.
Yes, and I mean, if there's anything we've learned from Gypsy, it's you gotta have a gimmick.
Yes.
So I figured throw on a dress and do the same thing. And sure enough, thanks to Showgirls and to the YouTube channel, it took off. And I started getting a lot of fans and hype. And then the next thing you know, I'm on this show. And so I had really no idea what I was getting myself into. And you couldn't really tell anyone. So I prepared the best I could, you know, and I went into that show knowing that I was gonna be who I was at 24 years old. And that's exactly what you saw. You saw a 24-year-old who wanted so hard to show everyone his talent, his passion, and who was also going through some serious withdrawals. I mean, it's a real thing. Girl.
Really?
They would not let me smoke. And
so was that really, that was really part of it?
Absolutely, it was a part of it.
That you were losing your mind
girl,
because they wouldn't let you have weed.
Yes. Can you imagine if somebody went in and they took them off their Prozac or Klonopins, how they would feel?
Or if they didn't let those bitches that smoke, you would, those would be the drag rip throat out show.
Hello. So, you know, that was on top of everything of not really knowing what I was doing, to be real. I mean, I didn't even understand makeup at that point. I had a crash course before I went with Vivian Panay, and she like taught me some basic tricks. Like I literally was just throwing myself to the wolves, full-heartedly. You know, I was ready for it. I mean, I felt like I represented me exactly to who I was, like I said, at 24 years old, being a year and a half of a drag queen, taking phrases from my mother, taking things from pop culture. I mean, this is what I drew upon, of course. And of course there was a character, but who wasn't on that show? I mean, when the cameras went off, every bitch was different. Come on. We're drag queens. We want attention. It's true, okay?
Right.
Own it. Hello.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, God,
Yes,
mama.
Very good.
That is the thing.
I loved it.
That is the thing. I think, like, for being the age that you were, only doing drag for a year, and then they're like, enter the Thunderdome.
Right.
Represent yourself fully.
It's the gay Olympics. It's the real Hunger Games, and that's how I felt. And you know, when people say I'm fake, it's like, really? You think I wanted to go on TV and cry and be made like the joke? Like, of course not. Of course that wasn't fake. Like, those are real emotions. Those are real things that I went through. And then after it all aired, I had to go through again.
Yeah.
And so it's been a crazy year. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was full of a lot of ups that I'm so thankful for, and a lot of downs that I'm also thankful for, because all of that together has, you know, brought me here. And I really feel like I've come full circle. You know, the reason I started drag and Drag Race was because I wanted to do art that had meaning. And I didn't want to just like death drop to Britney Spears my whole life. You know? And
Though that is great.
Although that's entertaining, and I do love it, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity that I got to do that, I know there's something so much more out there for me besides just entertainment. There's meaning, and there's art, and there's change, and that's what I want to be the forefront of. And so doing this, you know, process, seeing myself on TV, reading people's, you know, comments and feeling it all over again, I've really had to learn to let go of the negative. And I think when RuPaul said to me at the end of the show, you know, I can't wait for you to own your star power, that's exactly what she meant. And so that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm still continuing, no matter what has happened, no matter how many occurs you play after over and over, girl, I'm still here, I'm still fighting, and I'm gonna do the motherfucking thing.
That's right. That is right. But let's get into the pain of it all, because
yes.
I really
I know
want.
you like
wanna,
the milk.
I want
I've
to
seen
talk
it.
about
Get the
it
milk.
and
I know.
squeeze it out of you.
Yes. Okay, girl. Well, I'm ready.
Because so you came into Drag Race with, you couldn't really tell anybody. You had to prepare the best you could, and then you're thrown into the mix with, queens have been doing it literally for 20 years.
Yeah.
So
sometimes longer, I think.
Yeah, and you're trying to represent yourself the best you can. And I think if you had gotten eliminated 1 week earlier, it wouldn't have been so rough. Because there was that Untucked where you were feeling attacked.
Very.
For a good reason. Because they were attacking her. That's right.
You said it, Johnny. You said it.
They were attacking you. So you're in that situation. So tell me about what that Thunderdome kind of moment was like. With you're there, the cameras are on you almost all the time.
Right, of course.
And you're there and you're sort of friends with everybody, but you're kind of like a baby in the woods.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think everyone can agree I was a baby. All right, let's get it out. I could just hear the comments right there as you said that. I was a baby. But
don't worry,
you know what?
right above that comment, they're gonna be like, Johnny, stop shouting. Go fuck yourself.
No, but it is true. But I'm not ashamed of being a baby, And
I don't mean that in a crybaby type of way.
Course.
I mean, you are literally a child in front of the camera.
I've had a pretty amazing life thus far. My parents have been completely supportive. I've been so lucky to do the art that I love. I've never really had a real job. I've worked in dance studios. I worked at a thrift store, but everything's been creative. So up until this point, I'd pretty much had it made. I was very much, what is it, the little fish in the big pond.
Right.
I'd moved to LA, and so this was that moment for me. This was realizing whoa, okay, you're not the best. You may be a sickening performer, but look at all these things you still have to learn. And so then all the cameras are on you. It's 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm tucking for the first time without weed, so my pussy is
bitch.
on fire. I mean, for real. I was going through it. So it all added up. And on that last day, it was just that final moment of I couldn't do it. I just couldn't physically take it anymore. It just had gotten to the point where that wasn't fun for me anymore. I knew that I had given a lot. I'd given my best. People had, seen me, seen my talent. And I just felt like at that moment, I was done. And, when someone asked me, do you want to leave? I said, absolutely. Please get me out of here. And I literally had my first panic attack I've ever had in my whole life. It was really intense, and it was a real moment, and, it's something I went through, but I'm so happy to say that I've survived it, and I'm a better person for it. And, was it hard to watch on TV? Absolutely. But you know what? I laughed with every single person in the room when I said, and can someone get my nail because I'm such a fucking disaster? It's that is me, and that is the part of me I'm glad showed, regardless of what people say or judge it. I'm happy that people saw I'm not afraid to wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm not afraid to say this is too much. I need out of here. I don't care how much money, what's on the line, but this is not an environment I want to be in anymore. This is not conductive to the art making that I want to do. So that's what happened. I mean, it's a real moment in time that is documented, and
it's there.
It's there, girl. It's there. You can't take it away.
You went home, and how were you feeling when you went home?
Insane. Basically, when I got kicked off the show, right after you're kicked off, you have to film a packing up with Michelle, which I just couldn't wait to do because she was such my biggest fan on the show. So I was already oh my God, here we go. So Michelle comes in, and she knew I had it, and I was over it officially, but that I was really trying my best to be present in the room.
Right.
And I had painted my hair green that day. I wore all green. I wore my shirt that said "My money grows on trees." I had my weed earrings in. I was like, "What, bitch? You want to do this interview?" Ready.
Okay.
And of course, Michelle, who is such a professional, came in and basically said, "Do you want to do this now, or do you want to do it on camera?"
Oh,
and I was like, okay, bitch, let's do it now. And she basically broke it down for me and was like, this is, someone, I'm on TV, I have a job, I have babies to feed, it's not my show, this is the gig, She spelled it out for me. And, it was in that moment, like I got it and everything clicked. And she was really able to get such an honest thing out of me. So if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check that out.